Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Rob, and I am back with another cabinet vision tutorial. And today I'm going to be talking about how I have my shaker doors set up so that way when I make the cabinets bigger, it adds a split. Okay. Hey everyone. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Rob, back with another cabinet vision video. And in this video, we are going to talk about doors and something that I've implemented to help make my workflow a little bit more efficient. If you're new to cabinet vision or if you've been using it a while but just haven't had a chance to kind of explore the program, there's a lot of really powerful things that cabinet vision can do to help speed up your workflow and just make you more efficient overall. So let's take a look at what we're going to do in this video. So I have two upper cabinets here that pretty much look identical. But if I take this cabinet here on the right and let's change the height setting to 54. At this size, a lot of people out there would probably want to split this door in the middle to, add some structural rigidity. And so in the past, the way that I would do that is I would double click this door. We're going to right click, go into the door properties. We're going to section the door, and then I will add a split, and I will hit OK. And I will come back, and there is there's my split. Now, if I want to go back to, let's say, 36, I now have to go back in and I have to remove that split because the door shrunk. I no longer need it, so I got to take it out. But what if we do the same things over and over again, and I know that there's a certain point where I'm going to want a split in the cabinet or maybe two splits. And, I don't necessarily want to go in and change it every single time. So if we take a look at this cabinet over here, if I go to 54 on the height, you can see it automatically adds a split. Let's say we want to go back to 36. It takes it away. I can even go a little extreme, and let's say we want an 85 tall. And I have it configured to where it will add a second split. And then I can always return back to, whatever my starting size was, and it will get rid of that. So super handy if you do the same thing over and over again. And if that there's a certain point where you're going to want that split, this can help speed up your workflow. So if this sounds interesting to you, stick around and we're going to do this. I'm going to build this from the very beginning and show you everything I did to get to this point. So stick around. All right, so we are here at the Cabinet Vision splash screen, and just so that way we all know, I am working in version 2025.1. So that is the version that I'm in, but I think that I don't think it matters what version you're in, this still should work. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the door editor, the door manager. And I have all my stuff set up, but what I'm going to do for this video is we're going to go to a new catalog. Let's just create a new catalog, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to call this TUT for tutorial, and we're going to do I'm going to do tutorial cat for catalog, and I'm just going to put just tutorial. I'm just going to do that. All right, so this is my tutorial catalog, and it is empty. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We're going to create a new folder, and I'm going to rename this to 5-piece door, 5-piece shaker door. Oh, come on. 5-piece shaker door. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is we're basically going to act like we have nothing set up, and we're going to create a brand new door. And we're going to do this a couple times, so you're just going to have to bear with me, but if you follow these steps, you will be good. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to call this 5-piece shaker door. All right, we are going to do a multi-piece. I'm just going to put the same thing. So 5-piece shaker door. All right, and then I'm not going to put anything for the tags or anything like that. So we're going to go next. And so this is the setup for the 5-piece door. I'm not going to really, I'll put 3-inch here. You know, we can leave it as 2. Doesn't really matter. But for this, I'm just going to put it as 3 because there's a lot of people that do 3-inch door styles and rails out there. I'm just going to leave no to the miter, and we are going to click finish. All right, so this is our 5-piece door. So this is the first one we're going to make. All right, so the second one we're going to make, we're going to copy this. And I'm going to name this, and this might sound funny at first, but just stick with me. I'm going to do the number 2. I'm going to put HZ for horizontal split. And just so that way these aren't very long, I'm just going to put 2HZ for horizontal split shaker. I'm going to click mirror door style, and I'm going to hit OK. All right, now in this horizontal split, we're going to double click. We're going to go to the design, and I'm going to click the center here, and I'm going to add a horizontal split. I'm going to make this 3 inches and hit enter to match what I have done with the style and rails, and we're going to save the change. All right, now you see that it still looks the same as this, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy this, mirror the door style, and hit OK. And for some reason, when you make a copy, it will add what you did. So I'm going to delete that original one, and then I'm just going to rename this one to the original 2HZ for horizontal split shaker. We're going to save changes. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to copy this, but we're going to put a number 3 for 3 horizontal split copy. Let's actually take the copy out of here for just so that way Cabinet Vision or us, we don't get confused. So I'm going to double click this. We're going to go into the design. We're going to remove that horizontal split. We're going to put a multi-split. We want 3 equal sections. And these should be 3 because we changed the first one to 3. So we're going to save the changes. And then we're going to do the exact same thing, and we're going to copy that so that way it reflects our change. We're going to delete that. And then let's go ahead and just get rid of the copy. Okay, so we have all 3 of our pieces, and hopefully that's not super confusing. I have no idea why it doesn't automatically update the graphic until you make a copy of it. But that is just what I have found I had to do to get it to work. Now, you can leave it with the original graphic, but I find that it is much more helpful when you can see what it is, because we have the 2 horizontal split, we've got 2 sections, and then 3. We've got 3 sections. All right, so now what we want to do is I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to rename this as slab, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new door, and I'm going to call this slab. We're going to put slab in the description. We'll keep it as slab. None on the route path, and let's hit finish. And so this is going to be our slab door. We have our 5-piece, the 3 we set up, and then we have this slab door. Hopefully you guys are still following along. So if we go back to our 5-piece door, basically what I have done is we are creating this, think of this as like the base layer. So this is the main shaker door we are going to apply to a cabinet, and then once it grows to a certain point, we want it to look at to this door and say, now we want you to change it to this door, and then after it gets to an even larger size, we want to say, go ahead and look at this door, and then that's what it's going to do. Okay, so how do we get there? So we are going to take our original 5-piece door. We are going to click door properties, or you can double click the door, either one. And it is going to bring up the door properties. And if you want to double check your design, you can do that here. But what we want to do is we want to take a look at associations. And it is going to bring up this graph that most people probably have no idea what to do with, because it does not look very intuitive. There are no instructions or anything like that. But this is what we're going to use to set up our to build out this process. All right, so if we look at the top here, we have width, we have height or length, but I call it the height of the door. So the length upwards is going to be the height of the door, and then this is going to be the width. All right, and then we have a little drop down here that says mirror right style. All right, so what we're going to do to start is we've got these 3 little dots. There's 2 spots with 3 little dots. Okay, this one is representing the width. This one is representing the height. All right, so to explain the logic of what we're about to do, what I am going to, I guess the way to think about it is we're going to start with a number, and let's say somewhere maybe around 8 inches or 9 inches, and let's just say like 9 inches on the width and 9 inches on the height. And we're going to say that this is once we get to 9 inches and below, we can no longer make a shaker door, and we are going to make a slab door to make it solid, but just because we don't have a big enough door. So once I input those numbers here, we get this little drop down here. And if we click right here, it says no door by default, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to select, and we're in our tutorial catalog. So let's go to the slab door that we created, and we're going to say that if we are at 9 inches on the width and 9 inches on the height, we want it to be a slab door. All right, so let's continue on with the width. So I'm going to put something like 36 inches to start. And basically what this is saying is that from 0 to 9, we're going to do slab doors, and then greater to 9 to 36, we're going to go click our 5-piece shaker door, and then we could do, just so you can see what I'm doing, let's just say to 42 inches wide, we could say shaker door. And then if there's like a width that you just don't want to get big, like if there's a certain width that you want to implement a change, this is how you can do that. You can set your width. But I find that most of the time I'm more focused on the height of the cabinets, because in the real world, generally, I try not to build anything bigger than maybe 42 inches wide is the biggest upper that I generally try not to go much bigger than that. So we're predominantly focused on the length. But something like this, like 9 inches, 36 and 42 is generally what I'll set up for the width. All right, so now if we go to the height, let's say from 9 to like 36 inches, let's say that, that's one span. Let's say from 36 to like 42. And again, this is kind of arbitrary-ish. It's more, it'll change based on, what your, where you want the splits to be. But let's say we could even do, let's say between 9 and 42, we can do a regular shaker door. Okay. Not on the, okay, so I put this here. I actually need to put this right here. A regular shaker door, because we still want this to be a slab door. Or in my case, I do, because even though we're 42 tall, we're still 9 wide. So it kind of goes like this. So we're at 9 to 9, 9 to 42. So once we get, greater, so this is, I believe, or maybe I'm thinking, Maybe, hold on, let me think about this a second. Maybe we actually do, because this is between 9 and 36. So this is 9 or less. I'm trying to remember how this goes. So I think it's 9 or less slab. I think it works like this. We'll test it out and we'll see. And then let's say from 42 to 60. Let's say that from 42 to 60, that's where we want to make, excuse me, let's say from 42 to 60 is where we want to make our first change. So we're going to call this call in the two horizontal split. And we're going to do the same thing here. What we're going to do here is basically the same. So the 5-piece shaker, and then once we get to between 40 and 60, we're going to implement the two horizontal split, and then let's just say throw out 90. And so let's say from 60 to 90, we want a 3 horizontal split, just like that. And I think I have this set up as slab. I believe that this is the way that I have it set up, but we'll test it out here and we'll see how this works. Okay, so hopefully you guys can kind of see the logic. So basically we're creating like zones in which, you know, if you're in this zone, do this. Once you get beyond that zone, then, you know, pick the 3 horizontal split shaker door that we set up. All right, so if we hit OK and we save our changes and we hit OK and we exit out, if we go to a new job and if we do, let's just say, I'm just going to name this 5-piece shaker test. If we go to our cabinet, I'm not going to really change anything other than the doors. So you can see I have MDF shaker doors in here. So if we go to right up here at the top, so I'm inside my main catalog, even though it shows up in the recents. We're going to come down here to tutorial catalog, and we are going to select our base 5-piece shaker. And I did not set up a drawer front. So what I'm going to have to do is on my drawer front, I'm just going to pick a 5-piece drawer front that I have already set up because I've been primarily focused on doors. So MDF, let's just say we want paint grade, something like that. So, and then in my route path, I'm just going to put none because I have CNC operations that I do. So I'm just going to, I don't think that would mess with anything, but I'm just going to put none to just make sure. And I'm going to hit OK. And it brings us into our job. And so if I take the wall tool, draw the wall. And let's go to custom cabinets and we will get the standard upper. And let us see if this works for us. All right, so now we're at 30-30. So if I go 30 to 54, we can see that it is adding that split for us. And then if we go to 42, we can see that it is reverting back to the single panel on the inside. So then if we go to, say, 90, we can see that it gives us our split just like we want it. So 65, 54, 54 brings us down to a single, and then we can come back to our original 36 and we should be good. And just to double check, we should be able to copy it, and we got, it is doing exactly what we wanted. So hopefully you guys found this interesting and educational. I know, you know, this one was can be a little confusing. So just to recap, if we close out of here, I'm not going to save that. We go into our door. I created a brand new catalog. I created this base shaker, and then we forgot to test that if we go small, that it does the slab like we wanted it to. So we'll do that here in a second. But so I created a new catalog. Here's my 5-piece shaker. You go to door properties, and it's under your associations. And here you can edit your table. Now, what I have found that if you mess up and you want to delete stuff, it's kind of a pain in the ass to delete it. So the easiest way to do it is just to delete the door and then start over. It'll clear that table out. And then also you want to make sure that you don't set up any associations. Like if you've been doing this a lot, like I have found that I was setting up associations to other doors and I was copying those and I was forgetting to go in and delete the previous associations. And so it was causing me problems. And so just remember to go in and look and make sure there's, there are no associations on the doors that you're using to reference. You want those two to be blank. And you want this base shaker door to be the only one with the associations on them. So hopefully that makes sense. So real quick, let's just make sure we've got our slab door when we shrink. So let's go to our tutorial here. Okay, yeah, we don't have a drawer set up. We know that, so let's hit OK. And if we grab, let's say, I'll grab from my library just to make sure. So let's say we have an 1836. So if we go 65, we've got our split 35. And then if we go to 9, it turns into a slab. So it's basically just saying like that's the point to where I don't want to try to do a shaker. And I just chose 9, but it can be smaller. I can't even remember like I know it's around that size that you're getting pretty small. So it made sense to me. But anyway, I will wrap it up there, not to drag this video out. So hopefully this helps some of you guys out there. Please let me know in the comments if it did. And thanks again so much for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.